I didn't know that I was being interviewed for my job again today.
Sorry about that.
Right.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Look at it and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that day.
Totally. How did motorcycles enter your life?
I've got a pretty cool story for this. So when I was growing up,
just led that pretty strong.
yeah, I'm just over here like.
All right, welcome to this next episode of Chasing the Ride. Alex Kovach, parts manager, Grand Prix. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Alex, nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet
Yeah,
you.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
So tell me, parts manager here. How did you end up here? Tell me the journey.
Sure.
I guess actually the thing we always ask first is how did motorcycles get in your life?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So, growing up, my uncle, he raced dirt bikes, like whenever Travis Pastrana and Ricky Carmichael,
Oh,
whenever
yeah.
they were just getting up there too. So
Mhm.
he raced with them. He's got a whole wall of trophies and kind of grew up with the industry already in my blood. So
Nice.
started just riding a little dirt bike around his yard. And
Where was
just
that? Here,
well,
Colorado?
that was in Ohio. Yeah, I'm from Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So did that, and then just slowly grew up riding with my buddies, four-wheelers, dirt bikes. And then when I was about 15, I moved to Georgia, and I graduated high school. Started working at a supermarket called Publix, and I was just really good at my job, and my service and my sales skills stood out. So I got an opportunity to go work at a Honda power sports dealership that was being newly built. So then I got to, be introduced to the industry on the other side of things, on the, behind the counter, being a parts guy, and then worked my way up to an assistant parts manager position and really helped that business grow. And then I met one of the service managers there, and we got the opportunity to come out here and do the same thing. So when Peak Honda was being built, pretty much same scenario as Georgia, we got to go help them kind of open the store and get that rocking and rolling. And just have always loved the industry. But yeah, whenever I was 19 and started in Georgia, I got my motorcycle endorsement through the dealership, and then realized how much I loved riding on the street just as much as I loved, riding dirt bikes and stuff like that whenever I was younger. So
Yeah, what were your first dirt bikes?
it was CR80 was the first dirt bike that I really had. Yeah. And then we had like Polaris four-wheelers and little Yamaha 50s and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
we would just ride whatever. Didn't
just
matter.
ripping around on things and just having fun. And
Yeah, my buddy at his grandma's house, they had like a lake house, and we had like a track around the lake, and then we'd go ride around the woods and stuff like that. So yeah, really cool, and just get out there with the buddies. And it was funny, we had a customer in here the other day, and he was like, all the boys have bikes and everything. I go, yeah, when we were growing up, it was like, you had to take turns, you had to share the helmet or whatever the case was.
Totally.
So, yeah. And then I started riding on the street whenever I was 19 and got a little CBR 250 and loved it. Then I upgraded to a 600 and had a 600 for, 5 years. And then I just got a CB 1000 whenever I started working here. I seen that we had that. And I've always been a Honda guy. So
yeah.
I was like, yep, that's mine.
Yeah, nice. And so how in the world tell me about the culture shock between Ohio is amazing and great people. Georgia has its own feel and climate and people and hospitality. And then you come to Colorado. Like, what has that journey been like?
Yeah. Well, moving out here, I say yes, ma'am, and no, sir a lot now. And everybody's like, where are you from? Texas? And
Right.
so I have that like blend of diversity. But yeah, it was a big culture shock moving from Ohio. And just that was the only thing I knew. We didn't really get out much. And then, being like 45 minutes away from the Florida line, it was really nice to be able to just drive to Florida and just go see the ocean. So, yeah, wasn't for me though. I still have family that lives there. I still go visit, but Colorado is definitely the perfect in between, but of course its own too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And planes fly east, so you can go dip your toe in the water
Yeah.
if you need to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of how I look at it. I
Yep.
grew up in the East Coast, and because where'd you grow up? What area did you grow up in?
Man, everywhere. So that's a general statement, but I was born in Hawaii, and then I did spend
that's
some
right.
time in the Midwest, and then I did spend some time in North Carolina, and sort of East Coast vibes.
Mhm.
And then Colorado was definitely an awakening.
yeah,
I think it is for everybody that comes out
Oh, yeah.
here. And then you go back out to the Midwest or the East Coast, and you're kind of like, all right, it's time to go back.
yeah,
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's things that I love about where I grew up. Countryside, hills. We didn't really do the water, it was further inland. And so kind of like you said, but it was a drive. So
Yeah.
if you wanted to go to the water, you can get down to the Jersey Shore or get to wherever. And
Yeah, that was our first spot, was Outer Banks in North Carolina when I was like 8 years
you were in that TV show. Were you in their size?
So it was like, that was the excitement for us. And then, you know, now with my family living in Georgia still, it's really nice to just be able to go there and embrace what it has to offer. But I fly back, or I drive back too, and I just go see the family, and it makes me appreciate, you know, again, coming back to Colorado. I'm like, yep, I need the mountains again.
It's true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I when I first moved out here, did not think that was going to happen to me.
Right.
Totally did.
Yeah.
And so how is your riding? Well, it sounds like way more street riding, but do you still do dirt at all here in Colorado?
No, I just haven't had a dirt bike, haven't really had any interest. And moving from Ohio to Georgia, there wasn't really like a group of friends that I hung out with that was like, hey, let's go ride the dirt bikes like I had in Ohio, because it was just there. There wasn't anything else to do. So Ohio will always be home, but this is definitely my home now in Colorado. But yeah, street bikes it's been, an amazing journey of my life, and it's probably always going to be that part. So
Where did you develop your personal, your ability to work with customers, clients, parts manager? And I bring this up, Scott, because we were here with Mary back there a couple weeks ago, and you were just so good.
Thanks.
So good.
Thanks. I
Like
appreciate
your
it.
personality, and it was just authentic, and you want to help people and help
Yeah.
them, so where did you develop that?
Yeah, that's I don't know, just growing up. My mom was a manager at a place called Movie Gallery, and then whenever Blockbuster and I think they bought Movie Gallery, but then Redbox and everything came out, so then that's what ended up getting us to Georgia. But I would always just help her at the gas station, or at the video store and everything like that. And then I've been in management since I was 19 when I started there. And then when I moved out here, when I was helping at Peak, I used to manage this gas station here. I used to manage the one right up the road on Broadway and 470. So the people aspect has probably always been a part of my personality. And it's like, again, I appreciate the recognition. That's what fuels me. It's not like I could sell a crush washer, or I could sell $1,000 helmet and all the gear with it, and I still get the thrill either way, just helping somebody out. And that's on the clock or off the clock, helping friends out, helping family out. It's like, if I'm able to do that, that's a big part of what fuels me. So
Man, that's super special
appreciate that.
Yeah.
in a world where I think a lot of customer service is non-existent.
Yeah.
Boy, that's true to that. Yeah.
Well, and Publix was a big part of that too, because whenever I graduated, like my first job was Dairy Queen when I was 14, and then I just stopped doing that because we were getting ready to move. And then when I graduated, my mom had just gotten a job at Publix, and she's still there. My little sister's there, her husband's there. So the experience that you get and the training that you get from that store has really carried along with all of my career paths. Like when you start there, you get like recognition cards if you do really good. A customer's happy, hey, he did really good. And then you go get ready to clock out, and your manager's like, hey, you got a compliment, and you get a little card that gives you like a free half sub or a free pint of ice cream or whatever. And I probably had 30 of those, and I was and I was in like the paper twice just for rants and raves. I was employee of the month, and it's not what I was chasing. It was just me being me, and thankfully people appreciated that. But that's how I got here, just me and me. And I upsold the owners of the Honda shop on some bread and some cheese and, some deli meat to make a good sandwich. And next thing you know, they come up again. They're like, hey, is your son here? We want to hire him. And my mom called me, and she's like, hey, they want to hire you at the Honda shop. I'm like, I love motorcycles. I don't know the backside of it, which I have learned so much in my 10 years of being in the industry. But it's like, yeah, that's how I got here. That's how I'm in Colorado right now, sitting here talking to you guys.
So I briefly worked in my dad's dealership in the parts department.
Yeah.
And we had an amazing parts manager that was with my dad for like 40 years.
Yeah.
And we just had one brand we had to sell to and had to parts to. How, as a parts manager here, I mean, how many brands do you have here at Grand Prix?
I mean, numerous. I mean, we
You have a
we
lot
are
of brands
probably
you gotta
like
cover,
a
right?
5 to 7 line dealer of just what we can get. But then you get trade-ins just like how I got my Honda, and we get, other trade-ins. We've had a Can-Am here before and
Right.
things like that. So yeah, going from just being a power sports dealership in Georgia to being a Powerhouse 5 dealership was just strictly Honda, but you had all their lines. You had like power equipment, you had, the bikes, the ATVs, the side-by-sides. It's all relative, but yeah, whenever I first got hired on here, I was the assistant parts and service manager, and then I got the promotion to thankfully take over the parts department, which I love and I'm very passionate about.
Yeah.
It is a learning curve every day, and that's what I tell my guys here. If you think you know it all or you stop learning, that's the way you stop progressing. So,
I can only imagine, like, so my dad's parts department was huge.
yeah,
And like I said, only one brand.
Yeah.
Chevy.
yeah,
I can't imagine. I haven't seen your parts department in the back, but I
Yeah.
can't imagine how huge it is, and just the attention to detail that you must have beyond being great with customers, but also that's a lot of, as you know, and you're forced to know, I'm sure too, is that's a lot of money sitting back there.
oh yeah,
And it's important that you are taking care of it, inventorying it, and then selling it as appropriate.
yeah. I'm literally doing cycle counts as you guys were doing the previous interviews and getting everything set up here. I'm back there counting our inventory now today. So yeah, it's a lot, but that's it. And I think that's one thing that you have to have is being able to multitask, stay proactive, be good with customers, but also be good with your inventory and your overall business outlook on all that. Is finding that balance, because if I'm sitting there counting something and then I get pulled off and then I get 3 other people are asking me to do something, I have to be able to go back and pick up where I left off. So it's just staying organized. But yeah, this is probably 3 times bigger than the dealerships that I've worked at. But, thankfully, like Chance, our general manager, he sees the parts side of it because he was a parts manager, but then he also sees the drive that I have and the want to do good. And I think that this, Grand Prix itself can really be a one-stop shop for any type of customer.
Does this count up here as part of your inventory? Or is this more retail side?
Everything that you see here behind us, in front of us, all around us, everything in this shop without a VIN number, I'm responsible for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, because in my mind's eye, you were like, my boss back in the day, where you're running the entire back end. That's also doing service, helping
Yeah.
with the parts for service, helping.
Yeah.
So, oh wow.
Well, and that's where it's like nice because when I started in the industry, I was already evolving just from going to parts. I would help in finance. I would help in sales. I was the power equipment specialist. I was receiving and ordering and, and then throughout my timeline of just my careers, managing diverse employees, people younger than me, people older than me, and it's being able to relate with all them, but also knowing strengths and weaknesses. But it's like I was a service writer, I was a tech, I have had my own bike since I was 19 and younger, and I would work on them myself. So getting that understanding, and to go back to the birthday gift, I had a guy come in just shopping for his grandson. And he's like, hey, we have casual wear here. We've got, I had somebody come in just the other day and just get a phone case, and it's just simple stuff like that where people don't think going into a dirt bike shop or a power sports dealership,
Right.
We want to give them that feel, but we also just want to let them know, hey, there's probably something for you too. Yeah. The joke I make is you look close enough, you might find your name on something. So
Right. And because you guys, it's right behind me, but
Yeah.
you guys have an impressive array of motorcycle helmets,
Yeah.
different brands.
yeah.
How do you start that conversation with them when they come up and they're wandering around and they're just like, oh, I don't even know where to start. There's so much amazing stuff here.
Yeah. It's a good other training point too. I do with my guys. It's like, hey, people can come in. Oh, I'm just shopping. It's like, well, what are you doing? Where are you going today? What do you ride? Do you have any experience riding?
Right.
Anything. Do you ever rode 4-wheelers? And then you kind of just get that relation with a person versus being a salesman. It's part of it, but you can either have that approach or you can just say, hey, let me just show you some cool stuff. And what do you like to do? like to go to Utah? You know, it's right down the road. Do you like to go to the mountains?
Right.
Cool. You know,
Different equipment, different things. different
exactly.
Uses.
So then you have somebody who's entry level, you know, it can be overwhelming, all of the different shell types and armor levels. And, you know, you get anybody from your entry level rider or again, a side-by-side or an ATV guy. And then you get people who are going to the track and they're racing, you know, and it's like just being able to walk that balance. But you don't figure your customers out, then you're not going to know, you know, and they're going to be overwhelmed too. Like, wow. That's why we have done a lot of work up here to split this to where it's like you're looking for street gear. It's all a flow. It starts at the top with the helmet and then the gloves, and then it goes right into the jackets, the riding pants, the adventure stuff for the guys who are taking their, you know, adventure bikes out. And then you go into the other side of the shop and then you have all of your dirt gear, ATV stuff, side-by-side stuff, light bars, you know, and then we have some parts displayed, but yeah, we have a plethora of parts back there for all of our different brands.
What would you say is the most essential part of equipment that you wear on your body to start?
If you're starting, the best thing I tell people is get you a helmet, get you some gloves. And I wear all the gear all the time, so I really do practice what I preach as well. But anybody probably has a jacket and a pair of long pants and some boots. But it's like, get you a good helmet, and then like these helmets behind you, you see they've got the drop down shades and things like that. So now you've got eye protection, you've got head protection, and then some gloves, some good gloves. Because it's like, you know, just like the shorts that you've posted too, where people are just going down at a stop sign. It's like simple things like that people don't think about. And then you don't have a pair of gloves on, now your hands are all scraped up, and now that's going to affect your ride.
Yeah.
So then, you know, if they want to upgrade from, you know, just wearing a hoodie or just wearing a vest, it's like we can just go into a cool jacket that'll keep them protected from the sun, the elements, or, you know, when it happens, going down. But then you can also go all the way up to, you know, track ready gear that's all certified so they can go and ride. So
yeah, very cool. And is there any cool tech that's out there now that is kind of top of mind for you?
Oh,
it can be anything.
It's endless, you know, just again, right behind you, some of these helmets, they can be equipped with a communication system that has emergency response, voice command, and, you know, it can continue from there. But also on the dirt side, we have some different types of helmets that have a type of emergency response in there too, where if you do have an accident, maybe on the track or while you're, you know, going up a mountainside and you're doing some adventure riding, these helmets are equipped with that type of technology as well.
What are your thoughts on the airbag vests? Because those are exploding everywhere. No pun intended.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But they're, I mean, all the major brands are doing them, right?
Yep.
So what are you?
That's a whole nother thing too, is, you know, it can go again right here from the helmets and it can work its way down to, I think it's a great idea. You know, and we do have people come in and getting those too, you know, and they ask about it, and it's just whatever you want as far as protection goes, we can cover those areas and check those boxes. But the airbags and the vests and everything like that, like Alpine Stars, Tech Air, for example, it's like, it's really good to see these transitions just over the 10 years that I've been seeing all the improvements on the gear. It's really cool to see.
That's really neat. I think there's a lot of, you know, I don't watch as much as I used to, but the racing, the whole trickle down, you know, you see all that, and then the consumer has, you know, these really cool helmets, gear, airbag vests.
Yeah.
That, you know, can ultimately protect a lot of the things, especially like the collarbone when you go down, and you buy them for like $500.
Yep.
So I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
You're able to help people with those.
And there's, again, different levels. Like a lot of our jackets themselves come with what's called a CE level 1 armor, which is just entry level, but you can take that jacket and turn it into a more race type ready jacket just with upgrading the armor to what is called a CE level 2. And then it just has more impact protection, you know, and it's certified to go on the track, you know. Now, some tracks have certain specifications where you might have all leather, or you might have to have a certain boot that is that grade of protection, but it's still, you know, you just riding on the street and you want a little bit more bang for your buck, but also you want to feel a little bit safer. You know, you just come in and we can just get you the upgraded armor that goes in it, and you still have the casual jacket, whatever it is, so you can still just hop off the bike, go eat, and then jump right back on, and you still feel safe.
That's good. Is there like a pass off like from sales, like so and so just bought this motorcycle, it's their first bike.
Yeah.
Hey Alex, we'd love for you to be a consultant with me.
Yeah.
Let's get them in some gear. How
Yeah.
does that happen?
Yeah, we have a tour process whenever somebody comes in. They start with sales, or they may just be looking up here. Hey, I seen you checking that bike out. And then we lead them to sales, and that's where the tour process really begins. They do, their greeting and everything like that to get to know the customer, and then say they finalize that deal and they get the bike. Then they bring it to service. They bring the customer over to service. They might bring the bike over to service. Service will kind of do like a full inspection with them and say, hey, this is like what you're looking for. Because what we like to do is maybe before you even get on your bike and go ride, you want to check your chain, you want to check your tires, you want to make sure everything's operating properly. And that's really easily overlooked. And then, they do that with that person who just bought the bike. Maybe they are tenured in the riding or they're, again, entry level. But then they go through service. They go over like the service schedule with them, especially if it's a new bike. Those break-in periods are very important with a new bike.
Right.
And then service will bring them up here. And then we'll kind of go through, whatever they may be looking for, whatever they may need. And then that's where we can give them our knowledge and our experience. Hey, really recommend a jacket. Really recommend this. If you're going to be riding up in the mountains, at least you can have, some waterproof gear in your saddlebag, and then you can be ready for the elements because it is Colorado, and that's where we are, and that's what we try to focus on. But then once we finish that, we can sometimes, just let them shop around, or sales may be ready to finalize that deal. We take them back downstairs, and then they're ready to ride.
Very cool. Yeah, it is Colorado.
Yeah.
We rode over, I think it was Berthoud Pass in like July.
Yeah.
It was like hailing and like 48 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah. You can get sunburned, rained on, see people skiing and snowboarding. You can get snowed on, hailed on. And then it's like, you can go get some lunch and it's like, man, we just went through a plethora of weather.
You got it all in one day. Yeah, that is exactly right.
Yeah.
So speaking of that and being on the road, do you have any fun? And obviously this is the heat of the season for you guys. But do you have anything in this fall or any kind of trips coming up you want to do or that are on your wish list?
I've rode around here since I moved out here, so I've done a lot, and I enjoy any riding to work, going out and doing the passes and the canyons right here. Going down, just out west and just going till I can't, my hand gets tired or whatever the case may be, So it's like we have stuff like that for people too. We have cruise assist and cruise control and everything else, but my bike doesn't have that. So I have to kind of be weary of that too. Like, okay, I want to go all the way to Utah or whatever the case may be, but it's like, well, I got to work tomorrow. So, that's right. We got to play the game. But no, we just had our Indian motorcycle rider group meeting on Saturday. And they have probably the next 3 or 4 months, they have some planned rides, which, anybody is welcome to, but it's a Indian motorcycle rider group. But people have Hondas and, other types of different bikes that they aren't going to discriminate for that. But, that's what we just love when they come in here every Saturday at the end of the month and they just have their, plans of where they're going to go, where they're going to ride and everything like that.
So tell me about sort of the culture and community here, because Phil had wrote this really nice note about what he just kind of said to you earlier last week, and basically it seems like there's something special happening here at Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Can you touch on that at all? And if you say mean things, we'll edit it out.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, all good. Yeah. Well, and I think sometimes that being real and maybe admitting some of our flaws in the past and how we're going to improve that in the future is also relative to the customers who have been through the door and maybe had not the best experience, or future people who see that, we are here to make this better every day. Yeah. And since I've been here about 8 months now. And since I've started, I have given it my best to lead my team. And also I won't ask them to do anything that I wouldn't do. And again, like I said, just changing up the feel of it. When you walk in here, you really feel like you're in a power sports dealership. But along with that too, we're improving every day. We're getting more organized, understanding all the products that we have, the new products that are coming out, and again, figuring the customers out like we were just talking about. But then this is a whole working mechanism. So, you know, sales has a great team. Service is ever improving. We've got 6 techs here now. We've got 4 service riders. I've got 2 main parts and accessory guys up here too, including myself. That'd be 3. And then I have one gentleman here who's been here for almost 5 years now. And he is like parts focused to really make that process from service to parts tick and make it flow smoothly. So
that's awesome.
yeah, just in the 8 months I've been here, we have been really improving, in my opinion. And it's awesome to see. It's awesome to be a part of. And again, with Chance, our general manager here, who's been with this entire organization for over 10 years, it's just having him as a really great leader. He, you know, he is really inspiring. And I think that, like they say, it trickles down from management to the employees. That can go both ways. It can be bad or it can be good. And now we're really seeing the good of that. So
That's fantastic. Because I don't even know what we bought. I think we bought a pair of gloves and like a shirt, but that doesn't matter. I remember the interaction.
yeah,
Right. And it was like, yeah, that was like super special. And I remember I sent Chance a text after. I was like, man, that was incredible.
good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Yeah, and that's what we want. You know, that long lasting. Again, like I said, if it's just selling a simple bolt or something just to help people get out there and ride because they needed a lug nut, or you know, they want to upgrade and go all out and really have the style or have the comfort. It's like that's what we want to do, is make that memorable. And then also, man, Grand Prix's got it, you know. And whatever it is, we want to have it. So
that's awesome. So I want to just back up quickly.
Sure.
Because Ohio is interesting to me.
Yeah.
And all the years you're running around like a hooligan doing fun things.
I was.
Right. So I want to touch on that just kind of briefly. So can you share any just, you know, a memory that just sticks with you, that maybe it comes up in a dream later where you guys were doing something silly, you know, or dumb, and, you know, because those are what memories are made of, right? Especially when you're a kid riding around on something, anything that springs to mind that is not gonna, you know, the reciprocity for jail, that statute of limitations passed a long time ago, so don't worry about that.
No, yeah. I mean, we've done plenty, but yeah, I mean, just one funny instance that comes to mind is we had a jump over a snowmobile. That was
jumping was going to be involved.
Yeah, that was my at my buddy's grandma's like lake house. So I'm on his Honda. It might have been like, I don't know, maybe a 125 or something like that. But I hit it in like first or second gear and just cleared it. And I'm like, oh man, I'm all pumped up. I'm like, yeah, dude, I can't wait to show him. So then we loop around and I'm like, watch this. And then I hit it again and crash. And I'm like, the bike's on top of me and I'm all scratched up. And like, thankfully I had the helmet on, but yeah. And I'm like, dude, I didn't mean to do that. And he was like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
His mom comes out like, what the heck are you guys doing? Which, you know, that was every other day with us, or, you know, she was used to it. But yeah, that's one funny time that just, you know, we can still laugh about it today. But it's things like that that really make me, again, all the gear all the time is what we preach. And even being out here, you know, I had my CBR 600 and I didn't have the best tires on it. And that you think, okay, I got all the gear. I checked my bike, but understanding the brand and the make of these things and the construct. So I'm going around a curve out by Red Rocks Canyon, and I'm curving around to the right, and the whole bike comes out from underneath of me and almost getting run over by a car.
Oh, wow.
And I broke my back.
Oh, jeez.
And so yeah, after that it was like, okay, thank goodness I had all the gear on.
Yeah.
But you know, it just makes you reconsider, you know, do I want to get something that's affordable, or do I want to get something that's like cheap, so to say, or do I want to invest in my safety and the longevity of being able to ride? Just like I said with the gloves, you know, you fall over at a stop sign, or you're out doing an adventure ride and you don't have the gloves on. Now you're fatigued and now you're scratched up or banged up. So yeah, that was a big wake-up call for me, and it just made me respect the ride and the road even more.
Yeah.
So
but my gear experience came at a young age when so I grew up on a big piece of property, and we had 6-wheel ATV kind of things. We had snowmobiles. We had friends had dirt bikes. We had an old moped. Whatever we could ride, we rode around everywhere.
oh yeah.
And this one field we had the snowdrifts would come up and we would just rip the snowmobiles
Yeah.
and just launch them.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget coming down and just a bad landing, and had thankfully a full face shield.
Yeah.
Because I hit the windscreen full on right
Yeah.
here.
Oh, wow.
And if
Yeah.
I had not had
Oh yeah.
the full gear on,
That's
yeah,
a game changer.
yeah, it would.
Yeah.
I would look completely different right now.
Yeah.
Totally. If I'd even survived it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just thinking to myself back then, I'm like, all right, their parents were right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, at the time. And but yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
You know, it's so dumb. I for some reason I kept that helmet for years. It was like sparkly red, you know, like almost like that.
Bass boat.
Yeah, almost like a bass boat helmet. And I kept it for years, and we moved. There's actually a version of us behind Mary over there, and we moved from one house to another. And I'm like, why am I still dragging my childhood around? And now I really miss that helmet.
Yeah.
I never would put it on again.
Yeah.
But you know, there's so many hilariously dumb memories that are just awesome that were formed wearing that helmet.
Yeah. You look at it and it's
Mm.
like, oh yeah, I remember that day.
Totally.
Yeah.
Or those moments and
Yeah.
years, and yeah. And it's awesome. Well, it was great talking to you, Alex.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
absolutely.
it. And you
Yeah.
know, congratulations here. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you very much.
When I hear parts, when you said that in your description, I'm like, and then now I know it's literally everything.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Parts,
Yeah.
accessories, apparel, generators.
Yeah.
Anything that anybody needs, it's like we want to take care of them.
Yeah.
And Phil, again, glad with you, coming in and
Yeah.
just
Absolutely.
having a lasting experience. And, we can still always build off of that. But for us to just give you the same thing that we would give any customer, it's like that's what it's all about.
Outstanding. All right. Well, thanks for joining us for this episode of Chasing the Ride with Alex, and about to spin up another one. Stay tuned.